Hey everybody, it's Eric, 80s Horror Man here, and welcome to another Top 10 Tuesday, where I'll be doing my top 10 Danielle Harris movies. I know that's something new I haven't done yet before, but this is actually the first time I'll be doing it, so I just been collecting certain random Danielle Harris movies, and I found out I had enough, so I figured I might as well do a top 10 Danielle Harris movies I like of hers the most. I've also met Danielle Harris at the very first ScareCon event when it was called Scarecuse back in 2012. Got her autograph, got my picture taken with her. Very beautiful girl, cute. I had a wicked crush on her ever since I saw that she was all grown up when I saw her in the remake of Rob Zombie's version of Halloween. So, without further ado, let's get started. First off, at number 10 is Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. This picks up from where part 4 left off, where everyone thought that they killed Michael Myers, but turns out that he's not actually dead. He's still alive. And somehow Michael and his niece that he's been trying to kill, has like a strange connection. Like she could like sense like his movements and everything. And Dr. Loomis is still trying to put a stop to Michael Myers and his evil rage. So Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. I know this movie kind of like failed at the box office big time when it came out back in '89, but it's not too bad for what it is. Next is Camp Cold Brook. Yes, if you saw me do the review on this movie, check out the review I ended up doing on this movie. Yeah, this movie was actually very interesting. It was not bad. It's got Chad Michael Murray from House of Wax, and of course Danielle Harris. This movie is basically about where a reality TV host finds out that his show is going to be canceled, so he has to find some way to boost up the ratings just to keep his show on the air. So one of his coworkers figured, why not go to this camp called Camp Cold Brook. And it turns out the story behind this place is that this counselor ended up poisoning all the kids and kind of like get forced them to drown. They said that the counselor was like some sort of a witch. So they decided to get to the camp, set up all the cameras, and decided to see if there's any activity that's going on over there. So it's kind of almost like a paranormal activity type kind of movie, like where they decided to set up all the cameras and record every single movement and events that goes on. But it was actually very fun to watch. I actually enjoyed it. So Camp Cold Brook, definitely recommend checking it out. Next at number 10 is Shiver. I ended up watching this movie for the very first time, and I actually thought it was interesting. It was good. I liked it. Not only it's got Danielle Harris in it, but it's also got Casper Van Dien from Starship Troopers. That's in this one where he plays the detective who's trying to stop this killer. They call this killer the Gryphon, because he just ends up going around just choking people to death at like a little crossover or with like a little two wooden handles and like a little metal wire attached and just rings it around their necks and just cuts off their heads and just puts their severed heads in a glass jar that he ends up collecting. And apparently that's when he says to come after Danielle Harris's character who plays a secretary. She escapes it, and now he's like he get tracking her down, trying to kill her, and she's just trying to find a way to survive against this killer. So she starts to fight back. So Shiver, very, very good movie, not bad, interesting. Next is Inoperable. Where this movie was actually interesting. This one was actually yeah, pretty good. I'll admit this was actually very good. I didn't know what to expect when I first saw this movie because this movie is about like where Danielle Harris is like caught in a time loop. Like she tries to escape from the hospital, but all of a sudden, and that the farther she goes in the hospital, she kind of like gets a nosebleed, blacks out, and wakes up. She's in a car. She's trying to dial 911, and all of a sudden she wakes up. She's in the hospital. Then it just repeats over and over again. So she's caught in a time loop, and she's trying to find a way to get out of this time loop that she's caught up in. So inoperable. Well, this was actually a good movie. I actually enjoyed it, so I liked it. Okay, next is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. This is like after when Halloween 3 was kind of not really a big hit in the theaters when it came out back in 82, because Halloween 3 did not have Michael Myers in it at all, but technically they said that he is because he's like in the background on the TV. So when they decided to do this just to bring Michael Myers back, that made a whole bunch of horror fans just really happy that they're glad to see Michael was back in the Halloween franchise. So he's being transferred out of a mental hospital. He escapes to hunt down his niece that he's trying to kill. So Halloween 4, classic, good movie. Next is Hallow's Eve. This is a very fun Halloween movie to watch here with Danielle Harris and Tiffany Shepard in it. About where this little girl, she was in the cornfield, she was like doing some decorating, and all of a sudden she gets picked on by some bullies with them throwing pumpkin seeds at her, and she starts running. The bullies are like chasing her through the cornfield, and all of a sudden she gets ran over by her uncle's tractor, who was giving a little hayride. She gets ran over by accident. Then many years go by, and she's like completely scarred, like on the left side, after the damage that has done to her face. But someone's actually going around killing off these people at the haunted hayride one at a time. So this is like a whodunit kind of a movie. So Hallow's Eve, definitely recommend checking it out. Next is The Victim. This movie here, this was actually a good movie here to watch, because not only this movie has Michael Biehn in it from the Terminator and Aliens, but this was also Michael Biehn's first directorial debut for this movie. It also has his wife Jennifer Blanc right here and Danielle Harris in this one. But like this girl, she's on the run from some bad people after they saw them kill her friend, and she ends up running to this cabin where an ex-con lives there, and she tells him what happened, and so he decides to agree to help her and protect her from these bad people that's like after her. So this movie was definitely fun to watch. The Victim, I highly recommend checking out this movie out for those who hasn't seen it. So The Victim, check it out. Next is See No Evil 2. This is a sequel to the very first See No Evil, where it's got the former wrestler, or WWE Hall of Famer Kane in this one, who was also in the first See No Evil movie. Only this time, Kane's character wakes up in a hospital morgue to continue his bloody rampage on some hospital staff, and the hospital staff decided to stay at the hospital to celebrate that Danielle Harris's character's birthday. So they decided to stick around and have a little birthday party for her, but that's when the party gets ruined when Kane's character as Jacob Goodnight shows up, but to crash the party and continue his murderous, bloody rampage. So now they're trying to find a way to survive against Jacob Goodnight. So See No Evil 2, I liked it. I thought it was good. I mean, any movie that's got any WWE wrestler in it, I'm down for it, because I'm a huge wrestling fan. I've been watching it since I was 2 years old. My dad got me into it ever since the Federation years. So any movie with a WWE superstar in it, I'm always looking forward to seeing it, as long as they're the main character from the beginning of the movie to the end. That's all that matters. But if they have like a small appearance in that movie, then forget it. Next is Hatchet 3. This is a continuation to the Hatchet franchise. This picks up from where part 2 left off, where Danielle Harris's character as Mary Beth shows up at the police station all covered in blood, completely drenched and soaked, carrying like a severed head of the killer Victor Crowley that she said that she killed, and well, who she thought that she killed. But it turns out the police decides to go and do a little searching on the swamps to see if they can find any of the bodies. And there's also FBI involved as well. And it turns out that the Victor Crowley is not really dead after all. So Danielle Harris is like held up in this cell pretty much throughout the entire movie, while everyone else is getting completely massacred and slaughtered by Victor Crowley. Yeah, so this movie is very fun. A lot of blood, a lot of gore. You definitely can't say nothing bad about these Hatchet movies because they're just so much fun to watch. And last, at number 1 is Hatchet 2. This is Danielle Harris's first Hatchet movie appearance. And this picks up from where the first Hatchet left off, where Mary Beth escapes from the swamp, escapes from Victor Crowley, and she goes into town to seek help. That she tells them what happened, saying that the people on that swamp tour boat got murdered by Victor Crowley, but they don't believe her. So Tony Todd's character as Reverend Zombie decides to round up like a posse here to head to the swamps and to kill Victor Crowley to put an end to this curse. So when they get there, that's when bad things start to happen to these posse members that decides to go on a little manhunt for Victor Crowley. But it's also funny to see Perry Shen keep making one appearance after another appearance as a different character in all these Hatchet movies. So, again, good kills, good gore, tons of nudity, but there's definitely some good kills in this movie here. I definitely, you have to admit, there are some good kills. But Hatchet 2, definitely recommend checking it out for those who hasn't seen it. Alright guys, so that's it for my Top 10 Tuesday for my Danielle Harris movies. What do you guys think? Have you seen any of the movies that I showed off on this list? If so, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd like to hear your thoughts. If there's any movies that you think I should have shown in this list, also let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for some more videos. Later.